Dr. C. Selvi, Assistant Professor and Head, Department of Commerce Self-Finance, V.V. Vanniyaperumal College for Women, Virudhunagar. In this video, I am going to describe the documents required for the incorporation of a company. First, we have to know what is a company. A company is a voluntary association of persons formed for some common purpose with capital divisible into parts known as shares and with limited liability. From this, we can understand a company is a voluntary association and it is formed for some common purpose. The capital of the company is known as the share capital and the liability of the company is limited. For getting a company registered under the Companies Act 1956, the following documents must be prepared and filed with the Registrar of Companies. First one, Memorandum of Association. Second one, Articles of Association. First, we can know about the Memorandum of Association. It is a document of great importance. It contains fundamental conditions of the company. So, it is known as a fundamental document. It is a charter of the company. It defines the reasons for existence of the company. It also lays down the area of operation of the company. Then, with regard to the printing and signing of the memorandum, it must be in a printed form. It must be divided into paragraphs. It must be consecutively numbered. With regard to the signature, it must be signed by 2 subscribers in case of a private company, and it must be signed by 7 subscribers in case of a public company. Now we shall discuss about the contents of memorandum. First, the name clause. Second, publication of name. Third one, the registered office clause. Fourth, the objects clause. Fifth one, the capital clause. Sixth one, the liability clause. And the seventh one, the association clause. Now let us discuss each clause in detail. First one, the name clause. It contains the name of the company. It establishes its identity. It shows the symbol of existence of the company. Here, undesirable names like identical names, similar names are to be avoided. Misleading names are also to be avoided. Then, limited or private limited. The name of the company must end with the word limited or private limited. With regard to the public company, the name must end with the word limited. And in case of a private company, the name must end with the words private limited. Then, prohibition of certain names. For example, emblems of United Nations Organization and World Health Organization are prohibited. These are prohibited names. Next one, publication of name. Every company shall paint or affix its name and the address of its registered office on the outside of every office of the company. Then third one, the registered office clause. A company shall have a registered office from the 15th day of its incorporation. That is, from the 15th day of registration of a company, the registered office clause comes into existence. Fourth one, the objects clause. It defines and confines the scope of company's powers. The purpose of this clause is to enable subscribers to know the uses to which their money may be put and to enable creditors to know what its permitted range of activities. Subscribers means the persons who have subscribed to the capital of the company. Creditors means the persons who have lent their money to the company. Fifth one, the capital clause. It states the amount of share capital with which the company is to be registered. So here the capital is known as the registered capital or authorized capital. Next one, the liability clause. It states the liability of members of the company. The liability may be divided into two categories: limited liability, unlimited liability. Again, limited liability is divided into two types: limited by shares, limited by guarantee. Limited by shares means the liability is limited to the unpaid value of the shares. Suppose the full amount is paid, then there is no liability. Then limited by guarantee means the liability is limited to the guaranteed amount. Then unliability means the liability is not at all limited. That is known as unlimited liability. Next one, the association clause. It states that we, the several persons whose names and addresses are subscribed, are desirous of being formed into a company in pursuance of this memorandum of association, and we agreed to take up the required number of shares in the company. These are the contents of memorandum of association. The next document is Articles of Association. It contains rules, regulations and bylaws for the internal management of the affairs of the company. It is next in importance to the memorandum. It is subordinate to the memorandum. It is controlled by the memorandum of association. Now we shall discuss about the contents of Articles of Association. First one, share capital. Then lien. Lien means the right to retain the property of the debtor until the debt is repaid. Then calls on shares. The calls may be first call, second call and final call. Then transfer of shares and transmission of shares. Transfer means it takes place in the ordinary course of business, and transmission means it takes place in the event of death, insolvency or insanity of the member. Then forfeiture of shares. Forfeiture means when a shareholder fails to pay the amount, call amount to the company within the proper time, then his shares will be forfeited by the company. Then alteration of capital. Alteration means the capital may be divided, subdivided or reduced. Then capitalization of profit. Buyback of shares. General meetings of the company. Proceedings at general meetings. Adjournment of meeting. Sometimes the meeting may be postponed. In that case, the adjournment of meeting rules must be followed. Then voting rights. Then proxy, board of directors, proceedings of the board, chief executive officer, manager and company secretary, the seal of the company, dividends and reserves, accounts of the company, winding up and indemnity. Dividend means divisible profit which can be distributed to the shareholders. That is known as dividend. Then winding up. Winding up means it is the last stage of the company. It is the closing stage of the company. Then indemnity. These are the contents of Articles of Association. Thank you.